Hello and welcome to Tech Raven. Well, today I'm going to be talking about why I got rid of my two Sennheiser EW112P wireless radio microphone systems and got these little DJI Mic Mini systems instead. Now, any professional will tell you that the Sennheiser products are better because they use a dedicated radio frequency, whereas these little DJIs, they just use a bog standard Bluetooth and they're not supposed to be as robust, whereas the Sennheiser ones, they're supposed to be absolutely flawless because of that radio frequency. So you're going to stand a lot less chance of getting radio interference if you're working inside a police station with lots of walkie-talkies, near a minicab office, or outside near a large mobile phone mast. But in practice, over the years, I've actually found the opposite to be true. And that's why I got rid of not one, but two transmission systems from Sennheiser. Now, when I bought those EW112Ps, they were the Generation 3 versions and they cost £550 each for the set. So that's £1,100 I spent on them. And I've been using these for about 25 years. And over those years, I found that I've had nothing but problems. I've had radio interference, I've had electrical interference, and on top of that, the little connection cable that goes between the actual receiver and the camera, they're always breaking because when they get bent near the ends, they always end up crackling, so you get this kind of thing going on. So I'm always replacing those at £20 each. And as for the lav mic, normally on the Sennheiser, you got a little transmission pack that clips onto your belt with a lav mic that comes up the inside of your shirt and clips on here somewhere. And where the actual cable of the lav mic goes down and screws into the actual transmitter pack, when you're sitting down, that wire bends over where the actual connector cable is. And over time, a few months in some instances, from my experience, that cable starts to loosen and it breaks. And then again, you start to get this crackling noise. I've actually had to replace 3 lav mics at £100 each because of that happening. And on top of that, the actual cable that goes from the receiver into the camera, I've had to replace 2 of those for similar reasons. So they haven't proved to be that reliable. And on top of that, I'll never forget when Gary Lineker once said, if you're outside the UK and you don't know who he is, he was a famous football striker in the UK. I heard him say once on a television programme that if he was through on goal and he only had the goalkeeper to take, but there was a defender closing him down quick, he would assess the situation and think, hang on, I've got like an 80% chance of being able to score if I shoot now. Now, if he looked across and saw another player that was in a better position and all he had to do was lay it across for that player to do a tap-in, that player could have like a 95% chance of scoring. But the way Lineker saw it is that if I pass to him, that's adding another link to the chain. I've got to make a pass, and that pass has first got to reach that player, and then when the player gets it, he's got to stop it and control it, and then he's got to actually shoot and put it in, which adds an extra chain in there. So in theory, even though that player might have a much better chance, Lineker just shooting straight away is going to stand more chance of scoring because he's taken out of the equation that extra pass. And it probably seems like a weird analogy, but with the Sennheiser systems, I've got this actual lav mic screwed into my belt pack transmitter, coming up my shirt and hanging here. So you've got that actual cable that's adding another link. Whereas with this DJI, there is no little cable running down through a transmitter pack. It's just this. This is the transmitter. So it's actually taken that out of the equation. Now, I'm going to prove this here because I've actually been out this morning and I've shot in a couple of locations that are somewhat questionable. One police station and right next to a huge, great big mobile mast. So let me show you those clips now. Okay, so for my first test, I'm here in the small village of Haddenham in Cambridgeshire, which is about 15 minutes up the road from where I live. And as you can see behind me, we've got this huge mobile phone mast, which encompasses this village as well as some of the surrounding villages, and not to mention anybody that's on their mobile phone that's driving or passing through the village at any given time. So I think it's fair to assume that at any moment, there's going to be lots and lots of mobile phone signals whizzing around this phone mast. Let me get a little closer. Okay, so this is about as close to the mast as I can actually get because of this fence with all these warnings on it. But we all know that the DJI microphone requires a direct line of sight to the camera in most instances because it works on a Bluetooth system. And I've also got my mobile phone in my back pocket to help the situation and potentially make things worse. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to turn my back to the camera for a minute and carry on talking because the microphone is on my chest and the actual receiver on the camera is back across the road. So I've got my body now between the two. So is this making any difference in this area where there's a lot of mobile phone signals flying around my head? Well, I don't actually know just yet, because I'm not monitoring the sound, and I don't have a camera person with me wearing headphones that can give me the thumbs up to let me know if it's working or not. So I guess I'll find out when I get back to the studio. In the meantime, let's do another test. Okay, so for this test, I decided to make things a little riskier by picking a police station in Huntingdon. Now in this building here, there's lots of police radio frequencies going on. They've got walkie-talkies in there. There's a control room in there where people inside can basically communicate with officers that are out in cars or on the beat. So there's a lot of police radio activity in here. I'm going to see if I can go inside and speak to the desk sergeant. Okay, so I'm walking up to the door with my back to the camera, see how this works, and inquiry office is closed, so I can't actually get in here to ask any questions. That's a shame, because I wanted to ask a question about the legal limit on car tyres, so I can't actually get in here, but I'm pretty close, and there's lots of radio activity going on in this police station. So is this affecting my transmission from the microphone back to the camera in this area directly outside a police station? Well, we'll see. Okay, so for this final test, I thought I would do an electrical interference test to see if that will interrupt the DJI Mic Mini and the transmitter. Again, being Bluetooth, remember? And that's why I've got my iPhone set up here. This is actually recording. I'm just going to put my hand in front of it so you can see there that it's all live, because I want you to see what is actually being recorded here. So I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk across here to show you what's going on. Now, I've got this electrical fan that I'm going to turn on in a minute, and the cable is running literally, it is wrapped around the actual DJI receiver. And this is basically just going down to this horrible four-way plug system here that's got one of those flickery lights in it. And right next to it, one of the lights that lights me is actually an LED light that's got a fan in it. So there's plenty of electrical stuff going on around here. So let me just turn on this fan and see what it does. Now, is that making any difference? Is it interfering? Do I still sound okay? Let me turn it up a notch. Now that's the fan on full blast, so there's plenty of electrical current going around this cable here, and you know, literally it's right on top of the receiver on the camera. And again, let's not forget that I've got this LED light here that's got a fan in it with an electrical cable that is literally, if you look at the distance from the camera to the cable, it's literally about 8 inches or so, 10 inches away from the actual transmitter. And I got another one up here with electrical cables running down the floor up here. So there's quite a lot of electricity stuff going on here. Let me just turn this fan off. Okay. So I'm just going to turn this off now because it's not needed. Did that electrical test work? Did any interference come through on the DJI mic or the receiver? Well, let me turn DaVinci Resolve on and have a look. Lots of police cars directly outside the police station, which is about 15 minutes up the road from where I live. Radio activity going on in this police station. I don't actually know just yet. LED light here. Quite a lot of electricity stuff going on here. Okay, so there it is. Now, at the end of the day, the Sennheiser systems that I had cost £570 each. This little system here, which comes with the actual transmitter mic, the receiver that's on top of the camera that's filming me now, a Canon R6 Mark II. It comes with the cable that connects the receiver to the camera, and it comes with the magnet for the back of this, 2 little Ferry windjammers, the charging cable, and a case. And all that comes in at around about £75, which is less than the price of just one replacement lav mic for a Sennheiser system. And that lav mic with a cable is just going to keep breaking all the time if you have to sit down with that pack on. Now, that's the main reason I sold the 2 Sennheiser systems and got this instead, because for me, this is proving to be way more reliable at a fraction of the cost. And in terms of sonic quality, I can't personally hear any difference in quality between this microphone and the Sennheiser microphone. And at the end of the day, most people are going to edit in something like Final Cut, or in my case, DaVinci Resolve. and I'm going to go into Fairlight, and I always do a little bit of EQ on my voice anyway to take out the bottom end, and I'll EQ the mids a little bit to get my voice to sound good. So at the end of the day, you can make a bad mic sound good. Not that this is a bad mic, it's a very good mic, and you can make a good mic sound bad with EQ. I found that just raw, this microphone and the Sennheiser one with no EQ at all, they sound about the same. There's not really any difference in sonic quality. So I don't understand why you're paying all that extra money for the Sennheiser, which, according to my experience, is in fact an inferior product. And if Sennheiser claim that they're charging you more because of some sort of radio license, that may or may not be the case. But for me, it's still not working, because when I've used those Sennheiser mics over the years, I've had radio interference and electrical interference on more occasions than I actually care to remember. So that's why I've ditched them and I've gone for this system instead. It's proved reliable so far, and hopefully it will for many years to come. Okay, there it is. Until the next one, bye for now.